So welcome to our amazing LumiVitae discovery call. We're really going to be going over what is LumiVitae and the journey that Valeska and I have been on, as well as diving into the magic and science of molecular hydrogen and liquid light and what does that even mean, and so much more. So whoever invited you here, say a big thank you because there's a lot that's going to be open to you. Ooh, Raven just joined, so I
I'll
will
let her in.
put her in.
Yeah.
And
But
so before we go into the presentation, I know Shalimar wanted us to share, what does LumiVitae mean to us? So Valeska, do you want to go ahead and share what LumiVitae means to you?
oh my God, LumiVitae means a new life to me. Like it's just been pure transformation on every level, from my health to my entire life. Like for me, LumiVitae is a mission that I am very honored to be part of. That's why.
Absolutely beautiful. And I know so many of us, our souls are just called to this. LumiVitae really does call you in. And so when Shalimar told me she wanted me to speak on this, at the very beginning of this, I was just like, oh my gosh, I mean, I could speak about this for 5 hours. Like, how do I really bring it into something that gives you a real idea of how impactful this has been for me? So, LumiVitae means family for me. LumiVitae has provided a community where I feel safe to be seen, where it is safe to fly to my highest level of divine purpose, where I can leap, quantum leap, and not be questioned and just be supported. Because the beautiful souls in this, we are dedicated to self mastery. We are dedicated to leading others and helping them step into leadership and really actualizing every desire together as a family. And in addition to that, it's not just a community. The vessel itself, which we're going to be diving into, it activates freedom. It activates freedom in so many ways, specifically going from a body that's fighting against you your entire life to a body that is now supporting you. So now every desire you have a foundation to launch from rather than having a shaky foundation where you're trying to keep it together, right? But it's freedom where there's an opportunity for generational wealth and to build upon helping others achieve their dreams. And it's really freedom to dream again. It's like given a key to having mind, body, and soul alignment where it's safe and free to dream again and to dream bigger and bigger and bigger and grow your energetic capacity and be supported in so many ways by liquid light. And one more thing before we go into the presentation of what LumiVitae means to me, it's given me the opportunity to fully be the mom I desire to be. I have two little girls, 7 and 9, and the way that it has helped me health-wise, and I will be sharing my testimonial a little bit later, but it has given me the ability to really be there for my children where I couldn't before. And to be able to align amidst the chaos, amidst the tantrums, amidst all this stuff, right? Because I'm going to go into like molecular hydrogen, which we're going to be diving into, helps you be more in the parasympathetic versus the fight or flight. It helps you come into the Zen moment. It helps you align. So rather than being like a frazzled, chaotic mom that's writing books and running businesses, and I have all these different things that are going that's on my plate right now, right? It's like I should be frazzled. When I tell people what I do, they're just like, "What? What? You do all that?" And it's like instead, it's like I'm good, right? I'm able to come from a place of absolute balance and harmony as I pursue my dreams and more dreams and more dreams and more dreams. And that to me is priceless. Before we even get into any of the nitty gritty and the amazing science and magic, that's priceless. So I hope that gives you a little taste as to what LumiVitae could hold for you. It's pretty powerful. All right, so I am going to go ahead and share my screen. Let me,
And yes, the Lumi family is absolutely epic.
yeah, it's priceless. Soul sisters and brothers alongside us on this journey as we are lighting up the world. Okay, so Valeska, go ahead.
Okay, so LumiVitae, the living light. Really, that's what I call it, the living light. And LumiVitae, you'll see the frequency LumiVitae is the spectrum of the sunlight. And we'll go into that more in the frequency a little bit later on. But if you go to the next slide, then you can actually say more. Imagine, what if the smallest molecule in the universe held the key to your health and wealth? Just imagine that. What if a simple sip of water could change your life? What if? The purpose is freedom. Freedom from pain, freedom from debt, freedom from heaviness, freedom of worries, freedom from depression, freedom of like anything that just weighs you down. Like, I feel so light now. I truly feel that freedom in every single cell of my body with every sip of my water.
And to be fully you, free to be fully
Yes.
you, and have a CEO and visionary that supports that and encourages that and cheers you on every step of the way. That's not heard of anywhere else. We have a very unique gift here.
Yeah, 100%. And our vision is to light up the world. And when I heard that the first time, I was like, yes, this is a whole soul body. Yes, I want to be part of lighting up the world. Because when the world is lit up, it's a better place for us all.
Very true.
There is a revolution upon us, a revolution to enhance a new way of being, a revolution of new science and technology, fused by ancient wisdom, a revolution to return to the original source of life, to embrace Mother Nature's code and instruction, and transform the human experience. A revolution lit up by the miracle molecule, hydrogen, infused with the magic of frequency. As the first element formed in the universe, hydrogen is not just the essence of stars, but also the genesis of all life, the primordial substance from which all living beings emerge. We are on a mission to light up the world, creating a future where technology and wellness evolve together, guided by the universal principles of nature. Now, that's where science meets magic. Magic is just science that we don't understand yet. Now, this beautiful man is Nuno Nina, the creator of this wonderful vessel called cell power.
And when we look at this new science, so much is evolving in the scientific field. Quantum mechanics, epigenetics, right? We're looking at, when we hear hydrogen, we think of energy, not just molecular hydrogen for the body, which we're going to be diving into. There's so much. And specifically, Nuno, he was born with the ability to see frequencies in nature. He was born slightly autistic, and electricity, the sun, and the earth were his best friend. That was his trinity. That was his everything. And when he was 9 years old, he started actually inventing things for children that were autistic to help them relate better to the earth, to communicate better with the earth and feel more at home. And when we talk about new science, specifically, the bumblebee comes to mind. Because when you look at a bumblebee, physics-wise, it just doesn't make sense. The thorax is so big, the abdomen, and the tiny little wings, it just doesn't equate. But what happens is the bumblebee, the wings move in a helicopter way. And so the bumblebee levitates, it doesn't fly. It creates a frequency that neutralizes its external environment, and so it's levitating rather than flying. How many people really think about that? So many scientists are diving deep and then diving deeper and then diving deeper and then diving deeper. And then they're like, oh my gosh, look at these ancient codes. Oh my gosh, look at this junk DNA. Oh my gosh, what are we doing here? right? There's so much new science that is so exciting and so invigorating. And water. Dr. Michelle Patrick, who is the head of our science and education board, she says that, and she has 5 PhDs. She is certain that there is not one scientist on this planet that truly understands water and the promise and the magic and the power that it holds. Water is more than just hydration. It's a carrier of life's intelligence. And so now I bring you to Dr. Emoto. Dr. Emoto, what he did, we see these images. These are actually crystalline images of water that were frozen. And so what he did is he had a group of transcendental meditators send a specific word, specific emotion, the frequency behind that to water. Then he would freeze it, he would put it under a microscope and take an image, take a picture. And so we see thank you, wisdom, truth, angel, I love you, right? We see the crystalline structure. It looks like snowflakes. It's so, so, so beautiful. But then you see you full, and it doesn't even resemble anything. It's just brown and mucky, right? And then this next one is so beautiful. So you see the 2 images, they're just not very kind. And then you see polluted water before prayer, and you see polluted water after prayer. And what is prayer? It is collaborative intention from the heart. It is the translation of kindness and compassion. So what a beautiful way to be able to show somebody the power of your heart, the power of your belief, the power of beautiful intention, right? Having a heart of service. And then you go further into water. And, Dr. Emoto showed that water holds information, it imprints information. Well, Veda Austin, what she did is she was so in love with Dr. Emoto's science and his experiments. And then she was wondering, she's like, I wonder if it actually holds and remembers the shape that's put into it. So she has water in a petri dish, and then she puts an object in. She removes the object. She places it in and freezes it for a specific amount of time. And then she takes a picture. And as you can see, the rose, and there is a very distinct rose. You can see the primordial spiral in the center, right? You have the flower here. You have the striations that are in the petals. You have the grapes. You have this heart potato. You have the peacock feather. Like, look at that. How can you negate that, right? You have the tomato. Look at the little seeds. I mean, it's just amazing, right? But water has a consciousness. Water has always existed. It just changes states, but it's always been here, and it holds ancient wisdom. And 99.9% of the molecules in our body are water. We hold that ancient wisdom within us. And Veda Austin, oh my gosh, she put a sunflower seed in the water, and she removed the sunflower seed. And instead of a image of a sunflower seed, what do you see here? You see a sunflower. You see the potential of what that sunflower is to become. So now it's like, I'm an Akashic practitioner, I'm a station healer, I'm an emotional resonance clearing practitioner, wealth alchemy practitioner, I do all these different things. And it's like, I work with the consciousness of water, and past, present, future all exist in the here and now. And this is showing that. The water is translating the future of that seed right here, right now. So doesn't that kind of just make you really, really excited about every single drop of water? And then, like I said, 99.9% of the molecules in your body are water. So guess what? You hold that wisdom within you. So where's the key to activate it? We're going to talk about that. And before we dive into the specific key, when we talk about water, there really is a hidden crisis. There's a dehydrated world. 75% of people are chronically dehydrated. So, I mean, we're talking about the consciousness of water, water being able to imprint information and all this stuff. But now we're just talking about our cells being properly hydrated by water, and people not realizing that it really is an issue. And this is the thing. Oxidative stress and inflammation are linked to nearly every single major disease. And oxidative stress and inflammation happen from dehydration. And so imagine a source of energy so powerful yet so subtle, it's been overlooked or hidden in our quest for vitality. Molecular hydrogen, the universe's building block, holds secrets to not only powering the cosmos, but lighting up our lives with unparalleled health, wellness, and filling you with the light of life. Like Valeska so beautifully said, LumiVitae means light of life. And this beautiful quote is by Dr. Tyler LeBaron. He is the executive director of the Molecular Hydrogen Institute. And he says, there is something in the water that is uniting us all together. It is deeply rooted with hydrogen being the catalyst, literally from the beginning of creation. We're discovering that hydrogen is a balm for our soul, reminding us that we are and always have been united in a journey through the stars. This is something special and deeper beyond the hydrogen as a messenger. It's teaching us to be a better person, to have a better lifestyle, to do all these changes for the better. It's able to facilitate reactions in the body to improve our body, to come into homeostasis again. It's reminding us of our journey through the cosmos by Dr. Tyler LeBaron. Isn't that so beautiful? So there's this aspect of water that really is science and spirituality. And that's why we look at the consciousness of water, and then we talk about the oxidative stress and all that too, because it's not one or the other, it's both. Everything is all about balance and harmony. And so now we're going to be talking about molecular hydrogen, and specifically the health benefits of molecular hydrogen. How can this come and support you? Before we dive into this specific list, it's very important to look at the mechanisms of molecular hydrogen and what leads to these benefits, because molecular hydrogen is known as the smallest molecule in the entire universe. 1 ton equates to 1 stamp that you put on a postcard to mail it, when people still did that. And because of its tiny size, it's able to permeate through the cell membrane into the cell, and it works with the organelles within the cell, specifically the mitochondria. That's the very first thing that it's going to do. And it's going to upregulate the mitochondrial production. The mitochondria is known as the power plant of your cells. It's creating all the chemical energy that you need to perform every single physiological function in the body. And so now it's upregulating that. So now everything that needs to be done now has more energy, more chemical soldiers, should you say. That's not where it stops. Because of its tiny size, it actually acts as a carrier. It's kind of like the car, and the water is the passenger. So we're going to be talking about hydrogen-rich water, which is molecular hydrogen at therapeutic levels dissolved within the water. And what it does is it brings the water in. Instead of having to go through a specific protein channel, it just diffuses right through, right into the water, or right into the cell, so it properly hydrates the cell. So we have a cell and a cell membrane, but the beautiful inventor of this amazing vessel, by the way, I should hold it up, here it is. He sees a cell and the full electric potential of the cell when it's fully hydrated. And when a cell is dehydrated, it's like a raisin. There's no electric potential, or there's little electric potential. And it needs that electric potential in order to receive signals, send signals, and fully support the body. But molecular hydrogen doesn't stop there. It's known as the miracle molecule, also likened as the God molecule, because it acts as a selective intelligent antioxidant. What happens is you drink this water that holds therapeutic levels of molecular hydrogen dissolved gas. You drink it in, and it acts as a conductor in the body. It analyzes what's going on. It goes into the interstitial spaces that nothing else can get to because of its size. It upregulates systems. It downregulates systems. It reduces the damaging oxidative stress, but keeps the good. It reduces the damaging inflammation, but it keeps the good. It communicates with your biochemistry and your imbalances in an intelligent, selective way. And when it comes to receiving those signals and sending those signals, it works with a specific cell signaling pathway, the NRF2 pathway, that regulates and produces over 200 different protective proteins. So now, because of its tiny size, it's also able to bypass the blood-brain barrier. And so now we're talking about protective proteins. Now we're talking about neuroprotective aspects. We're talking about helping with neurodegenerative diseases and things like that. So it's all of these mechanisms that work together. It's upregulating the mitochondria. It's properly hydrating the cells. It's receiving and sending the signals because now it has full electric potential. It's acting in an intelligent, selective nature, and it's working with the protein synthesis. All of that combined leads to these specific benefits. But this is the tip of the iceberg. There are over 3,000 peer-reviewed published studies supporting molecular hydrogen potential with over 200 different disease protocols. So we have anti-allergic effects, right? The cell signaling, there's an external invader in the body. Danger, danger, Will Robinson, work on this, right? Anti-inflammatory effects, like I said, because of its selective intelligent nature. It knows to reduce the damaging inflammation, to reduce the chronic inflammation. But the thing is, when you have a wound, you need the inflammation. You need pro-inflammatory cytokines to go to the space to indicate to the brain that there's an injury, that there needs to be recovery. And so then we have anti-cellular death effect. So when a cell is healthy and happy, right, it's fully hydrated, full electric potential. Well, we have these things called free radicals, and negative free radicals come into our body. Free radicals are needed for necessary things like breathing and functioning, but the negative ones actually attack the cells. And then you have a healthy cell that now goes into oxidative stress. And now that healthy cell turns into an unhealthy cell. The cell doesn't want to exist in an unhealthy manner. So what it does is it goes into apoptosis, which is essentially cell suicide, cell death. So that's where the anticellular death effects come, because molecular hydrogen has the ability to reduce the damaging free radicals that lead to the oxidative stress that lead to that. Anti-aging effects. Oh my gosh. Yes. I spray this on my face. I don't use any skincare. This is my baby, but that's not what we're talking about here. In addition to that, we are talking about anti-aging effects when it comes to your organs. We're talking about anti-aging effects when it comes to your entire body, because there are these protective caps at the end of your chromosomes. Your chromosomes hold your DNA and RNA. And every single time your cells divide since you were born, your chromosomes start to deteriorate just a tiny little bit. But over time, that can be damaging. And what happens is when there's full deterioration, they break apart. And when they come back together, it can lead to a mutation. That mutation can lead to something that we don't want to say that starts with C, right? Everybody knows what it is. And so these protective caps at the end of the chromosomes, when they're lengthened and strengthened, they help prevent that deterioration that leads to that break apart that could lead to that mutation. And so molecular hydrogen, it's reducing the oxidative stress that would be attacking those telomeres. And telomeres are similar to protective plastic caps at the end of your shoestrings. They prevent it from fraying, right? So just imagine that visual. And pretty much like molecular hydrogen coming in as a Pac-Man and getting rid of all the nasties, but keeping the good. And protecting your chromosomes, right? All the way down, you have protects DNA and RNA. Very same thing, right? And then supporting the immune system. That cell signaling pathway, knowing when there's an external invader, knowing when the immune system needs to be upregulated and kicked up. But let's add in that it increases the mitochondrial production. So not only is it, receiving that signal and sending, hey, there's an external invader, it's like, oh, let's get more chemical energy going. Let's get more chemical soldiers kicking that thing out of your body, right? Supporting your body however it needs to be supported. Increasing the cellular metabolism, that goes hand in hand with the mitochondria, increasing your energy, right? Improving the redox status of the cell. Essentially, this is making the external environment of the cell neutral to the internal environment of the cell. You don't want an imbalance there. That can lead to issues in the body. Reducing muscle fatigue. Molecular hydrogen has been shown to extend the lactate threshold. So that means you can get more reps in. You can, so many things with that, right? Anti-diabetic effects. This has to do with the way that molecular hydrogen specifically cleans out the cells and works specifically with the liver. And I do need to add, the liver does over 500 things while you're sleeping. This is a very important thing, right? Improving cognitive function, right? Being able to bypass the blood-brain barrier and work with the neurological pathways and help with memory and concentration and all that. In addition to, the neuroprotective and helping with the neurodegenerative issues and all that stuff. Talked about protects DNA and RNA, protects from radiation. Unfortunately, sitting in a taxi, sitting on a train, going on an airplane, so many things, introduce you to radiation. So this is a very important aspect. And then not only is it increasing the mitochondrial production, but it's protecting the mitochondria while it's increasing it, and it's making the impact of the mitochondria more powerful. So, I mean, if you're not already amazed by this, I don't know what else I could share with you, because there's a reason it's called the God molecule, the miracle molecule. There are so many scientists that can't even explain it. And I love, love, love understanding the mechanisms. I believe that once you understand the mechanisms, then you're like, okay, that makes sense. Because when you add this and this together, yep, that makes sense, right? So the question is, How can we get more hydrogen into our system? Hydrogen water. Hydrogen-rich water is the answer. We drink water all day, every day. At least you should be. Wouldn't it be amazing if we had the ability to turn water into wellness? If every single sip supported your body in exactly the way that you need it? That's what we're talking about here. And we're talking about returning to source, right? We were talking about the consciousness of water. We're talking about holding and holding information and activating ancient wisdom within you. So this is a fusion of hydrogen and frequency, creating ancient water that activates and holds a key for you. So what are we talking about here? This beautiful vessel, this is the LumiVitae cell power bottle. I love to call it my Vitality Vessel of Illumination. Some people call it the cherry of divinity. Whatever they want to call it is what their soul is connected to. But this is a very brief overview. There are frequencies in the lid. There is a hydrogen-rich three-phase formula. There's chromotherapy. There are specially designed proton exchange membrane and plates. There is a dual chamber reservoir, and there are magnets in the base. But now we're going to go into the specifics and why you should be so amazed. This is literally the luxury wellness device. There is nothing else on the market like this. And the beautiful thing is this was used in clinic and then brought to the world. The inventor Nunonina worked with 70,000 different clients across the board, anything from infertility to anti-aging to extending their athletic careers to people that were given up on by Western medicine. And what was so amazing and speaks to the power of this is no matter where their imbalance was and how severe it was, the very first protocol he put them on was the bottle. Very first thing, because he knew that when the cells are properly hydrated, when your mitochondria is upregulating, when you're able to work with the cell signaling pathway, everything you do is more impactful. Everything. Mindset, nutrient intake, everything. And he also knew the importance of molecular hydrogen getting fully into the body and creating a safe vehicle for that to do. Because here's the thing. To create therapeutic levels of molecular hydrogen dissolved gas, it takes an electrolysis process. When I press this button, that's going to activate the electrolysis process, and then you're going to see bubbles go. Well, the electrolysis process is normally a very dirty process. It has the potential to create arsenic, heavy metals, other biomaterial that you do not want in your body. And he knew this, and that's why 10 to 12 years of research and development went into this science. And so he knew that he had to create a way to make sure that every single drop in here is pure and safe and potent. And that is the perfect combo where the body won't see it as an external invader. And it will allow it to be fully processed so that the miracle molecule can do what it needs to do in the body. And so he developed a way to ignite this electrolysis process. You saw how simple that was. I just pressed a button. That's all it takes. There's a 3-minute and a 6-minute and a 9-minute option, and you just press it again, and that's how you get to it. And he developed a way to ignite the electrolysis process with only 2.3 volts, where other devices are 5, 10. There's some that are 25. There's some where you actually have to throw away half of the water because it's so dangerous. Like, I'm sorry, I don't want that. No, thank you. But he didn't stop there. He knew that there was still minimal byproducts being created. So there is a proton exchange membrane in here that is essentially the part that is pulling apart the hydrogen and the oxygen, the two hydrogens and the oxygen. And the two hydrogen ions now go up through the electrodes and they non-polar covalently bond together. And that is what creates molecular hydrogen. And he knew that in that process, there could still be some byproducts. So he took the world's best proton exchange membrane and he improved upon it. And how was he able to do that? Because of his beautiful ability to see the truth of what is and not what science states to be. So the world's best proton exchange membrane improved upon is in here. He didn't stop there. When you turn this on, see that light? That is a dual chamber reservoir. So any minimal byproduct that could be created during the process escapes as a gas. And then if anything tries to go up, it's completely blocked by the PEM membrane. So every single drop is pure and potent and clean. And this is the thing. When he was working with his clients, when he first started to work with molecular hydrogen, he knew the promise, he knew the science of what was being said. And so he started increasing the parts per million of molecular hydrogen with his clients' protocols. And he was not seeing the results that he wanted to see. And because of his beautiful ability to see the body, to see everything about a person, to like, I mean, when our beautiful CEO and visionary, Taryn Lee, first met him, she thought that she walked through an MRI machine. She was like, how did you know that? What, how would you know? What, like, how could you know that about me? I mean, he can literally look at you and be like, you got in a fight with your best friend 2 weeks ago. And, you know, blah, 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 blah. Or like you had a traumatic injury 3 years ago and you, instead of doing this, you should have introduced this nutrient and you should have done this and you're doing this. And now we need to reverse this. Like he is so incredibly brilliant. And because of his brilliance and because of his gifts, he was able to use those gifts and work with different parameters in the body or work with different parameters in the water and create what is called a three-phase formula, what we call the golden ratio. And he worked with the pH, the RH2, and the ORP. The pH is potential for hydrogen, and he discovered that the perfect amount is between 4.2 and 6.2. The RH2 is the electron potential that is in the water, and the ORP is the oxidation reduction potential, right? So when I was talking about minimizing the damaging oxidative stress, that's what we're talking about. What's the potential for that, right? And it's a specific ratio of these three together that creates this three-phase formula that allows the molecular hydrogen to be 100% processed in the body to fully support you. And with our specific vessel, what's so rare, because electrolysis normally hikes up the pH, and he knew that that wasn't good for the body. And so he developed a way for it to not change the pH. So whatever pH you put into this vessel, it stays the same. So there are specific parameters. You want pH between 4.2 and 6.2. You want total dissolved solids, which is TDS between 20 and 50. But then our vessel, you essentially take water, you pour it into here, you activate it. That's how you activate it, right? Our vessel, what it does is it takes the ORP between -600 and -400, which is the therapeutic aspect, and the RH2 to greater than 8. And if you want to screenshot this or whatever, we don't need to dive into that any further. And then there are natural-like magnets in the base. There are magnets that meticulously calibrate the magnetic field of the Earth. So we have sacred water, we have the Earth. We're talking about a whole biosphere here. And what's so amazing is when you turn on this water, right, you can see it's turquoise. You double click, and now you see the circle. And now you can change the color, depending on your belief system, to what healing capacity you want. Because here's the chromotherapy aspect. So violet boosts spirituality. Blue enhances insight. Turquoise, protection. Green brings harmony and balance. Yellow elevates your mood. Orange sparks creativity. Red increases energy. Here's the thing. So with the electrolysis process, when you activate it at the start of the day, it's going to be the 3-minute. So it's the 1 bar. And that's when the body's more in the oxidative aspect. And then after 3 p.m., you're going to do a 6-minute, which is more reduction and recovery. But here, you get to create your own thing. You're like, okay, so I'm going to go into energy, and then I'm going to do yellow because I really want mental clarity in addition to energy, right? Like you can create your perfect little elixir tonic with this. It's amazing the different protocols that we've been able to discover through this. And then the lid has the frequencies. So because of his ability to see frequencies in nature, he worked with frequency therapy for 26 plus years. That was his first baby. That was, that was his best friend. And so there are 3 frequencies in the lid: energy, recovery, and LumiVitae. And energy is to, kick up your energy when you need it. Recovery is to help you come into relaxation and recovery. And it helps you boost your immune system. And this is the magic. This is why we call this liquid light. The LumiVitae wavelength that is here, which I'm going to show you how easy it is to activate. You simply, oh, I have to press it again. Hold on. It took too long. So you just simply click once to go in between, and then to select, you double click. And so now it's doing the LumiVitae frequency. It takes 3 minutes for LumiVitae, 1 minute each for energy and recovery. But this is the wavelength that mimics the wavelength from the sun that ignites life force energy that is responsible for photosynthesis when working with fourth phase water. Isn't that amazing? So literally imprinting the sun, the life force energy from the sun into the water. And then you have the base that activates and energizes the water. And then you have the chromotherapy. But it doesn't stop there. This is 320 milliliters because that's the exact amount of therapeutic levels of molecular hydrogen dissolved gas that your body can fully process every half an hour. And so you can actually twist off the base and you can activate larger amounts. You can activate 1 liter, 1.5 liters. It's such a gift to be able to support my family, to support my friends like that, right? And then the lid, this specific frequency, the LumiVitae frequency, right? I was talking about telomeres before with anti-aging. So you can put this over your raw fruits and vegetables, and you can bring the life force energy back to the fruit and vegetable as if it was just plucked from the source. Why does that matter? Well, when they studied the blue zone areas, that is one of the ways, eating food straight from the source is one of the ways that you lengthen and strengthen your telomeres, in addition to eating grape leaves, in addition to sunlight, in addition to proper exercise and all these things, right? But that's one of the ways that you can do it. So you're essentially, the molecular hydrogen is, working with protecting your telomeres, but then you can also lengthen and strengthen. So it's pretty amazing when it comes to that. And we are truly here to light up the world, not just with lighting up from the cells from the inside out, but to light up the world with our passion, with our vision, with the way that we want to help people step into optimal health, bring their bodies into the self-healing mechanisms that they're meant to be. That's what LumiVitae is truly here to do. And our beautiful, beautiful inside and out visionary and CEO, Taryn Lee, that is essentially her frequency, is freedom and lighting up the world. This is birthed because of her. It's truly such a gift. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the share. And see if anybody has any questions before we dive into a couple other things. Does anybody have any questions? Go ahead, Sandy.
Hi.
Hi.
Thank you for sending the infos. I've looked at all the stuff you've given me and the brochure is beautiful. I
Thank
shared
you.
the information with my friend and he's quite scientific.
Mhm.
And tonight really helped, but he wasn't clear on what he listened to on how it affects and benefits the mitochondria.
He doesn't understand how it upregulates it.
Well, I guess he hadn't read maybe the specifics. Is there one
I have a slide I can send you. Yeah,
that would be good?
sure. Yeah,
Because he was quite impressed. So thank you.
yeah, absolutely. Of course.
Good.
Yeah,
Okay.
I have a slide that likens it to the power plant of the cell, but it likens it to the windmills on a farm. And that
Oh,
normally the mitochondria, what it does is it's like a windmill and it's going at this amount. Molecular hydrogen comes in and it's going like this.
okay. Because
And
there
so
was
now it's
so much stuff
upregulating
to
the
go over.
production.
He probably just didn't get the right one.
Yeah, honestly, there's so much to cover that if I really did, we'd have a 2-hour discovery call.
Okay. Thank you.
Like there's so many other things that I could add in, and it's just like trying to get all the main message of it for these discovery calls.
Thank you.
Of course. Does anybody else have any questions about anything that I've covered so far? Shalimar?
Rose was wondering about using structured water. Like, can you use structured water with this? What is the
Yeah.
best? Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. So there is no competition to this and anything else. So essentially, somebody asked me about that. I would recommend to activate the water first and then pour it into a separate container and then structure it and then drink it.
Okay.
Because if you structure it before and then you put it into here, I don't know how that's going to interrupt that process. So
Okay.
that's why I would say activate it first, put it into a vessel, and then drink it. And I'm glad that you asked that because when you pour it out of the vessel, you want to drink it within half an hour. But honestly, like, I mean, I want it in my body immediately, knowing what it does. But when it is active in the bottle and it has a lid on it, it's potent for 24 hours. So that's amazing to know that. Like, if somebody does just want to, activate some at the start of the day, but then they want to activate another one, then they just want to sip it throughout, maybe exercising or something, they're able to do that. And not just in here, but you can activate it and put it into a separate water bottle with the lid on it. And as long as the lid is secure, it's potent for 24 hours.
Very
So,
good.
yeah.
Can you explain also the 4.2 to 6.2 pH that is recommended to get the best out of this device?
Yep.
Could you just explain that? Thank you. And how that might help with somebody who has the C word, who
Yeah.
they tended to go, oh, I've got to have very highly alkaline water in order to
Mhm.
counter. Maybe you
Yeah.
could. Yeah, thank you.
Sure. Yeah. So Nuno had this, I mean, with his beautiful abilities, he also uses um, blood pH. He measures blood pH. He measures urine. He measures saliva. He has so many different devices in his practice. And he actually really got into preventative care. And he figured out a way. He's like, well, when the pH of the blood is alkaline, it's a very, very serious indicator that C, well, I'll just say it once because I don't like saying the word cancer, that C is probably going to grow. And the main focus of this vessel and of this science of combining the frequencies, combining the magnets, combining the therapeutic levels of molecular hydrogen dissolved gas, combining the cryotherapy, is to bring the body into internal homeostasis so that there's an environment where nothing can actually have a chance to grow. That was his main focus with this. And through working with so many different patients and seeing 70,000 people, right, pre-indicators of what was to happen and recognizing what happens when alkaline water comes into the body, because the stomach is supposed to be between a pH of 1.8 and 2.3, I believe. And so when you bring alkaline water into that, it's going to throw off the pH parameters because then it's going to go into the spleen. And then that's going to go into the blood. Like, it just, every single organ we think of, like, oh yeah, it's separate, it has this physiological function. Oh yeah, this one has this and this one does this. No, 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 no. They're all interconnected. I work with 5-element theory. So does Nuno Nina, the inventor. It's all about the elements. It's all about the interconnection. It's all about the yin yang balance. And it's this where it throws it off from the very beginning. So then all of the organs are now at the incorrect pH parameter and they're not able to fully perform. And so when there is a non-beneficial element in the body, then the organs aren't at their highest, the cells aren't at their highest, and they can't perform as well.
Okay.
And so he discovered that the exact parameters are between 4.2 and 6.2 to create this perfect three-phase formula. But when it comes to the water, it's a matter of good, better, best. So when there are severe imbalances in the body, you want to get as close to that golden ratio as you can. But, if you're just like, you're at a restaurant and you don't know what water is going into your vessel, as long as it's not tap water, and then you put it in, it's like, oh my gosh, then I go home and I clean it. So don't over stress about the type of water. And this is the thing too, with total dissolved solids. If you know that the total dissolved solids are from minerals, and it's not from fluoride and chlorine and all this other stuff, well, then you can sleep well. You don't have to, you don't have to stress about what's in your water. But it's more really preventing those dangerous contaminants from coming into the equation when it comes to supporting the body. That's why the TDS between 20 and 50 is recommended. And then you don't have to worry about the RH2 and the ORP because our vessel already creates that perfect amount. What we have to focus on with bringing the water in is the pH, which is the acidic, because he worked with so many people and he saw that when the pH was alkaline in the blood, that it was, indicating that. And that's really the reason. And another thing with the misnomer about that is that when molecular hydrogen first started its science back in like 2007, back in Japan, Dr. Tyler was there with Dr. Odo, and everybody thought that alkaline water was so beneficial. It was so therapeutic. But then they discovered, I think around 2014, between 2014 and 2017, that when you remove the molecular hydrogen from the equation, there's no therapeutic benefits to the alkaline water. So once they figured that out, they were like, oh, but actually the alkaline water is dangerous for the body. So it's the molecular hydrogen component that we actually need to focus on. Does that answer?
And it's the ORP in the alkaline water. If they have that one component, that would be the benefit of alkaline
That would
water.
be that would be the benefit, yeah.
Not the pH, right? And
Not
so
the pH.
creating the perfect formula of, yeah, okay,
No.
get it. Just so people know, there's like a $20, $30 a detection device, so you can find out what your TDS, total dissolved solids are, and they need to be between 20 and 50, and the pH, which needs to be between.
Well, and once again, it's a matter of good, better, best. So if you have a total dissolved solids between 60 and 80, it's not the end of the world.
Okay.
But if it's anywhere around 100, you want to clean your vessel a little bit more. And it's very simple to clean. What you do is you have hot water. So I ignite my water in the kettle, and actually the proton exchange membrane that's in here allows you to activate water up to 100 degrees Celsius, activate that, and then, you know, put it in your coffee press, put it in your tea, put it in your cacao ceremony. I mean, use it in your cacao ceremony. Like the possibilities with this vessel are endless, honestly, but to clean it is very, very simple because he could not stand all these different like juicers and stuff. It took like 45 minutes to clean, and it was just like, hated it. So that's why he created it this way. So all you do is you have hot water, you put 1 tablespoon of food grade citric acid and you dissolve it. And then you put it into here. You fill it to about half an inch below where the metal stops. And then you activate the 6-minute or the 9-minute, depending on what you want to do. And then you never, ever, ever activate it with hot water with the lid on with 6 or 9 minutes. It could hurt the frequencies. So when you, for cleaning purposes, you have the lid off and you activate it for 6 or 9 minutes. But then to drink, right, when you're making the water for the tea, put the lid on and you only do 3 minutes with the hot water. It's very important because you don't want to damage the frequency lid. But it's so simple to clean. And then the lid also has a rubber ring, if you see that. So once a week, I take like, you know, those corn holders, like the little pokey things. I'll do that, or tweezers, and I'll just kind of get it out there and I'll wash it off and I'll put it back in. So that's how simple it is to clean. And when it does come to, like, you know, if somebody has a virus or something and they're drinking from the bottle, you can twist off the top and you can twist off the bottom. And then you can only clean the middle component with liquid soap. This is the part that you can do with liquid soap. This is the part that you can disinfect, right? You don't ever put this, the base or the lid, in a dishwasher. You don't put liquid soap on this. You don't put it into cold areas like a refrigerator. You don't put it into a sauna. You take care of it. But that's all in the manual when you purchase the vessel. And the vessel is 400.
Very impressive manual. Like, ooh.
Yeah, did you get to the protocols, like the balancing the yin yang and stuff?
Yes, I'm very impressed.
Oh, good. I'm so glad. Yay. Wonderful to hear. Awesome. And so, yeah, so how do you get one of these vessels in your life? Well, you go to the person who invited you here, and the vessel is, honey, what is it, Canadian? Because it's 488 euro for us in America.
It works out to be about 800 Canadian, thereabouts, maybe 820 Canadian today. Yesterday, I think it was 815.
Okay.
By the time it hits your bank, so it's just around 800 Canadian, yeah.
1584 for 2. 1584 for 2.
Oh, good to know. Good to know. Yeah, when you buy 3, you get 1 free right now.
Oh, I wish I'd have known. Anyway, I just didn't want to share mine with somebody when I'm just sharing.
Oh, I have 6.
Well, you're way ahead of me, darling.
I mean, I've earned some, I've purchased some, but 3 of them are on loan, so I only have 3 at my house. Like I have 6 that belong to me, but they're not in my house right now. But I did want to say there is a 2-year warranty with this. And then there's also a 7-year shelf life. So if you're thinking like, oh, like, do I have to replace the filter every couple months or what is it? No, there's a 7-year shelf life. You purchase the vessel and you put water in it. That's it. It's that simple. There's really like, you don't have to replace filters. You don't have to do that kind of stuff. It's pretty awesome. So does anybody else have any other questions? And there's a way to share this amazing device with other people.
I
And
have
that's
one
really
more
by
question
using it.
about the,
Huh?
sorry. I have one more question about the water.
Yeah.
I went to Costco today and I got a Brita filter.
Yeah.
But Shalimar, you had told me about Sierra water. I'm not sure whether it's with a C or an S. And I Googled it, and to me, what came up was it was just another like Brita filter. Is that what you have?
Yes, it is creating alkaline water that is somewhere between 7 and 9. So it isn't the last thing that you want to put the water through. It would be a good cleaner. I would put it through that, do your cleaning, then I
Do I
would put,
need both of them?
yeah,
I'm
and then,
still not clear on what to use
well,
when
we
I
can
get.
talk about it after, but I think it might be a 2-stage process, but you have to get the water if we want the best out of this. The Brita filter is renowned for creating more acidic water than an alkaline water unit, but it's a great cleanser. So you can put your water through the Sarah filter and create a decent pH, and then drop the pH and clean it even more with the Brita filter, the second one, and then put that water into our thing. So you just have it on the counter. They're just pouring from one to the other, and this is
And
the
it's a
water.
matter of good, better, best. You don't need to be a water scientist. Don't
Yeah.
worry. It's just a matter of, you're
Yeah.
going to clean it a couple more times than you usually would.
Yeah.
But there is an opportunity to share this. So essentially, you would get your bottle and, you just share the excitement. You share other people's testimonials. You share your experience. You're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. The first time I drank it, I just was instant in Zen. I was in theta, right? Like there's so many different things. And Valeska, do you want to go ahead and share some of your testimonial?
Sure, yeah, I'm happy to. As I started, get a little bit older and stuff, and it's like perimenopausal, stuff like aches and pains, I was having brain fog. I wasn't sleeping so well anymore, just like all these issues. I was like, oh God, I guess I'm getting old. And then when I started drinking the Lumi water, it's just like even within a week, I've just noticed a huge difference. I have so much energy and bouncing off the walls. I sleep really deeply, and I like go to bed and I sleep through and I wake up. All the aches and pains that I had, like I was having like in the shoulders and my neck and like all of that, just completely gone. My mind is super sharp. I have no more digestion issues. My mood is like always elevated. I'm just like 99.5% time just happy and joyful. And what else? Singing. Oh, and in my body, I'm feeling really light but very grounded at the same time. So those are just a few that I can think of right now. And when I was flying the other day, I didn't have to go to the bathroom so many times. I think I only went once in a 10-hour flight, just
Wow.
because it actually went into my cells, because flying is so dehydrating, right? So when I drank the water, it just went into my cells and not just through my bladder and out again. So
Yeah.
yeah.
All I just keep hearing is balance and harmony. It's
Yeah.
just like you're experiencing balance and harmony in your life, right? It's just like, it's so beautiful. Yeah, I mean, I do need to preface that this beautiful vessel does not cure, treat, or prevent any diseases. What it does is it brings your body into internal homeostasis so that your body can therefore become the self-healing mechanism it was always meant to be. I have some amazing testimonials to share, but these are my personal testimonials. Everybody has different imbalance. Everybody has specific biochemistry. So we don't ever want anybody to compare, but I have been gluten sensitive my entire life, and now I have no issues with gluten. I no longer get the rashes on my skin. It no longer triggers my migraines. And I had migraines my entire life, debilitating migraines where I had the nausea, I had the occipital migraines, I had the atypical migraines where they mistake it as a stroke. I had the abdominal migraines that only 2% of people in the world have. Yeah, my abdominal area would actually contract for 8 hours and I would just throw up nonstop. It was just lovely. So all of that was triggered by gluten. And so me being able to not have that issue anymore is amazing. And the thing is, so I am the very first purchase of this bottle in the world, and I had the prototype before. So I did drink the prototype for 6 months, and I didn't see any change with my gluten or anything like that. This is another indicator of why this is the best product on the market Because when I started drinking this with the frequencies and the magnets and the chromotherapy and started using different protocols that I felt called to, that is when my gluten sensitivity went away. It's this specific vessel. It's every single aspect of this vessel is actually connected to the Fibonacci sequence. The golden ratio, like, you know, it's the golden ratio within the water, but it's also the golden ratio of every length, every width, everything to this, like it is just beyond amazing. But this beautiful vessel has really allowed me. I was hit by a drunk driver 25 years ago, and I was in rehab for my back for 4.5 years. I was told by 5 doctors just to go on disability and that I wouldn't walk again. I was in chronic pain for 19 years, heart condition that took me out for 12 years because I collapsed 3 to 5 times a week. And it really activated PTSD for me. I had a 40-foot light pole come crashing at me during the accident and missed me by 5 inches on my right side. So when it comes to driving on an expressway when it's raining, because it was raining during the accident, like tornadic weather, it's been extreme for me. I mean, it'll be so extreme where I start hyperventilating and I have to pull off to the side of the road. But guess what? I'm a mom of 2 kids. Can't do that, right? So there's so many times that like I'll freak out when it starts raining and I always have this active when I'm driving. I always do. So I pull over to the side of the road and I just drink it and then I'm fine and then I just keep going. So for me, the anxiety and the PTSD to be able to help with that, like that has been so, so huge. And then I will never forget, I was going out of town to help a family member with an emergency. And I get to the house and I didn't realize that the house had black mold. And I was on the second floor helping with some of the stuff. And I was wearing a mask because, well, I'm an intuitive and I'm psychic and I'm all these other things. And I just knew I was supposed to be wearing a very powerful, strong mask to go up to the second floor. It was a situation with hoarding and things like that. I mean, it was not pretty. And I was up there for maybe 8 minutes and I couldn't breathe. And I came downstairs and I activated my water, 6 minutes with recovery, and I slammed it. And then I went back upstairs and I did more things that needed to be done. And then I couldn't breathe again. And then I went downstairs and I slammed it again. And I know the only reason I could function, because trust me, after the 3rd time I was done, I left the house and I was like, I don't care. I'm not doing this. The only reason is because of this vessel. Because mold, specifically black mold, is so, so dangerous. And I mean, luckily my spirit guides, like they were just like, they kept pushing me away from certain areas. I didn't have a choice. I was looking for lost things, documents and things like that. And there was just no way. But this water got me through. And then that night, I am very sensitive to cats and dogs. I'm sensitive to dust. I'm sensitive to things like that. And so I did have like wheezing that night and I chugged this and then I was fine. So, I mean, so many people are dealing with mold toxicity right now. So many people are dealing with allergies and things like that. Oh my gosh, the way that it helps with allergies is beyond. Because I actually thought that I was allergic to air. Like I was a walking medical dictionary. I mean, literally. Probably about 4 years ago, all of a sudden, it's like I had invasive dermatitis on my face and on my skin. And I used to be in the modeling industry, and it's like that was disaster for me. And I walked outside, and I literally looked like a lion. My skin puffed up. I was all red. I was almost blistering, and I was like, I'm allergic to air. And so I kept being put on steroid medicine and all like steroid creams and all this stuff that I didn't want on my body and I didn't want on my skin because I'm a holistic practitioner. And I knew what that was doing to me, my personal preference, you guys. But I no longer have any issues with any of that. Nothing. No dermatitis, no issues with my skin, no sensitivity whatsoever. So that speaks a lot to this water. That's my personal story. There's so much more. And there's actually a Facebook testimonial group. So you can go there and search thousands of testimonials. But I mean, there's just, yeah, this water has really allowed me to be more of myself in the world. This liquid light water and this community has allowed me to really step into my higher self and feel safe and supported in doing so.
And I think it's very crucial at this time. People are very much going into themselves, feeling shy about the world. It hasn't worked for the last 5 years. And that means all kinds of different things for different people. They've suffered financially, they've suffered with loss of life, loss of family, loss of their own self-worth, and so on. And many conditions have arisen in all my friends. I'm a health guide, and I have never seen so many things. And to have something that actually is genuinely, authentically going to help you for, let's call it 800 Canadian. I've never seen anything like that in all my days. Everything that makes a difference is many thousands of dollars, sometimes $40,000.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
so this is kind of stunning. And so I'm not surprised, everybody that I've brought on a call has purchased a bottle. Every single one so far. I'm only into it a couple of weeks now, but
Oh,
yeah, or want to. They
yeah.
and are working to get it, to make it happen. So
Yep.
it's extraordinary. I think people are just getting, oh my gosh, it is a savior, and it is right in front of me. And if I deny this, what a silly muffin I would be, to just go, no, I have to, I
Yeah.
got more. No, it's fantastic. And, it's just like Nike says, just do it. It's so incredible.
Yes.
And
Yes.
you know what? My friend Anne got one. It arrived 4 days from Portugal all the way to the west coast of Canada.
Yep.
In 4 days from Portugal from
Yeah.
ordering it. 4 days.
I had to wait 6 months for mine.
Oh,
6 months.
wow.
Because I was the very first one, and they were, all that stuff.
It
So
wasn't launched yet, that's why.
yeah, I know it hadn't launched yet. That's why I had to wait 6 months. Yeah.
Wow.
But honestly, you guys are seeing a testimonial right now, because I'm sure you could hear my voice cracking a little bit, right? And I just sipped this and now I'm fine because I didn't sleep last night. I'm a healer, and sometimes I get phone calls from friends that need me in the middle of the night. And so I did a satium healing session at 2 a.m. And I've been up all day, meetings all day, doing things all day, right? Talking. This is my answer. This is what keeps me going. I'm like, energy, LumiVitae, energy, LumiVitae. Like,
And right now, when people get involved right now, they have this offering. So by May the 5th, when you get involved, you have 7 days in any period up to the end of May 5th. Any 7-day period when you
no,
start.
it's
you
not
get-
any 7-day period. I just want to correct you there. So
When
when
you-
they start, they have 7 days to sell
That's what
3
I mean.
bottles.
That's what I mean.
Oh,
So
okay.
if you tell 3 friends, or you buy 2 bottles and tell a friend, or you do whatever you're going to do, you can earn a bottle and get commission on the thing. And so you basically, this is free for you.
Yeah.
Plus you'll have money in your jeans. It's just incredible.
Yeah. Yeah. And buy 3 bottles, get 1 free. I mean, however you want to figure it, but it's just so beautiful. It's called the Luminary Leap right now. And it started April 4th to May 5th. And like I was saying, there's a beautiful way to share this bottle with others. And really, when you feel the impact of it, you want everybody to know. You want everybody to experience this. That's why, like, Shalimar, when you were saying, everybody that's been on this wants the bottle or has purchased it, I'm like, yes, like, I want them to have it for their health, for their, their alignment, for actualizing their divine purpose in the world. I'm like, yes, like, every time a bottle is shared, it's like I'm giving God a high five. I'm like, we got this one. Like, yes, they're going to like really step into higher self. They're going to really become their best self, being fully supported, not just by the beautiful vessel, but by the community, by leading with education, by the app. LumiVitae has an app that educates you and shows you how to step into leadership and connects you with other leaders. And there's so much more. It's only the beginning of what LumiVitae is birthing for us to support us.
Oh,
And
tell them about the tablet.
Oh yes, of course. So this is the hero product. This is our first baby, but we have other inventors and other. LumiVitae is a company that innovates. We don't copy anybody. We create something new every single time, and we only produce the best of the best. That is a fact. I won't go into the whole story of how we know that, but Valeska and I know what I'm talking about. But we are launching our second product in May, and this is a molecular hydrogen fusion tablet. I can't tell you the specifics, but what I can tell you is that Dr. Tyler LeBaron, who is honestly, the reason that molecular hydrogen is the way that it is in the US, he developed with our scientific team a brand new molecular compound that brings molecular hydrogen into fusion with NAD+. So if you've heard of NAD+, NAD+ is the injections that like all these celebrities are getting for $500, $2,000 each for anti-aging to look very beautiful again. But here's the thing. So when you're born, you have NAD+, and as you age, you lose it. So this is really the anti-aging piece that's been missing. But so it's a fusion of molecular hydrogen, NAD+, and other things, but it's at the highest bioavailability of anything that's ever existed with molecular hydrogen. Molecular hydrogen has never been able to exist and coexist and play nicely with NAD+ before until Dr. Tyler's invention, which I can't talk about the other things that allow that to happen. But there will be nothing else on the market like this. This is a fountain of youth in a tablet. And our CEO visionary has been using these for about a month. And she's like, every single time, it's like her happy pill. She's just instantly happy. She's happy. She's just happy. It's like her cells are just alive and she's happy and she's in vitality. And she's like, I can't even explain it. And Dr. Tyler's like, well, that's not really the reason. Like, that's not supposed to be the result of this, but I'm seeing it. And I don't know. But yeah, it's
Drug
just,
of choice.
it is going to completely take over the market. Right now, the molecular hydrogen market is 3.3 billion. And that is energy. It is estimated in 2037 to be $99.3 billion. And we are not just in the molecular hydrogen market. We are creating the wave of it. We are shaping the wave. Literally, LumiVitae is leading the way every single step. So being here is a huge opportunity because everything is available to you because there's no competition with this. It works with everything. It makes your nutrient intake more impactful. It makes it so that the supplements you take, you don't have to take as many and you get immediate, like you get quicker results, right? It's an add-on to everything. I'm a holistic practitioner. I'm an energy healer. I do so many different things. And this is the very first thing I bring my clients to. And here's the thing too, is when it comes to self-development, when it comes to healing traumas, when it comes to stepping into higher self, if you're not willing to take this amazing therapeutic device that can fully support you, then how are you going to integrate what I'm going to guide you to? Right? So it's like, you've got to get this in order to work with me. So it's, yeah, it's beyond. It's my go-to for every client. And I do it before every healing, during every healing, after every healing. It's like, who heals the healer, right? Well, there you go.
It's incredible.
Yeah,
Really,
it really is.
really remarkable.
Yeah.
I want to tell everybody I've ever met in my whole life that there's hope.
Yes.
I'm serious.
I'm going
to be on the call like this. Like everybody I know.
You're going to be like, so Nicole, can you do 5 calls tomorrow? I'll be like, oh, okay. Yeah, sure.
If I'm falling asleep tomorrow night, you'll know why. So everybody, there's
This I can.
Yeah, there's another section with Nicole on oh, should we end the recording?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Yes, yes, yes.